everyone. My name is Ashton and I'm just trying to get it together. So in today's video, we're going to be talking about what to expect when you're expecting a puppy. Oh my gosh, it's the best time ever. Granted, I'm not someone who has a human child, so I wouldn't know what that time is like. However, I am a dog person, hands down. I love big dogs. I love dogs that I can snuggle and I can feel that they are there. I can snuggle against them and they are a huge presence and I'm like, yes, this dog is here, yay! And I feel so much better. I'm also someone, and my husband is the same way, that we want to rescue. We are adopt, don't shop people. We're not people that really want to go to breeders. By the way, if you hear someone in the background, that is one of our dogs, Spencer. Spencer is just chilling, walking around. Spanny, what are you doing? Spencer, what are you doing? You gonna hang out with mommy? If you see me petting someone, it's my dog. It's one of my puppertons. Isn't that right, Spencer? Hang on, let me... Hey, buddy. How is it? How you doing? Why don't you look up here? Hi. Yes. Anyway, so if you hear someone walking around, it's Spencer. And we'll talk about him in just a minute. You can see him right now. But anyway, we are adopt, don't shop people. We want to adopt dogs. We want to go to the shelter and get dogs that need a home, or we want to go on Pet Finder and find dogs that are at the Humane Society and that need a home. We're just those kind of people. So we, in the beginning, wanted a puppy for each dog, and we had different reasoning behind each one. Whenever we were first together, we lived in an apartment. We want to raise a puppy together, and so we got our first dog, Jesse. I'll insert a picture and we'll talk about Jesse. And we raised him. We moved out of the apartment and got our actual first house together. We got Spencer, this dog, and we live in our house now. And then later on, unfortunately, Jesse passed away. We'll talk about that some later on. And then we got Copper, our bloodhound mix, at the animal shelter. And we got him as a puppy because unfortunately, Spencer has cataracts and went blind. And he has a lot of anxiety, so we wanted a puppy who was going to be used to Spencer. We didn't want to get a dog that was very used to a certain situation. We wanted a puppy that was really going to be able to form to our situation with Spencer. If you already have an animal and you get a second animal, you need to be able to accommodate to that first animal and make sure that that first animal is taken care of. Before you get a second animal, you want to make sure that the first one is taken care of. Isn't that right, Spenny? Spencer, isn't that right? Because you can't see and you are very, very scared. Now, Spencer had eye surgery. We were going to repair both eyes and get his cataract surgery. He's only 3 years old. It was a genetic thing to where both of his eyes, cataracts grew across. However, one of them was operable, the other one was inoperable because the damage was too far gone. So one of them they operated on and it was completely fine. The other one, they said he's not in pain, but he is not going to help him. So one of his eyes he's blind, and one of them he is completely fine in. So he gets his little eye drops every other day and he is good to go. He goes and he sees his eye specialist every few months, and Spencer is happy as a clam. And Copper came in, and we'll talk about those behaviors later on. Before we get into our dogs, Spencer will probably talk about the most because he's the one that has the most interesting story Jesse did not really have any issues, unfortunately, until his passing. Spencer has a lot of different things that has happened to him because of genetics, unfortunately. And then Copper is young. He hasn't had many problems so far. Oh my gosh, Lord. So you'll probably hear the most about Spencer, honestly. At this point, just wanted to let you know that you should like, what are you smelling, buddy? You should like, comment, subscribe if you would love to hear anything that I have to say. If you have any animals, tell me about them below. I would love to hear about it. The first thing whenever you get a puppy, you need to expect that your normal routine is going to be interrupted. You will not know eventually what you did without them. They're gonna bark in the middle of the night. They're gonna want certain things. They're gonna get used to you. Now, if they came from a breeder, they're gonna be used to what was going on there. You will get used to your new normal, and they will get used to their new normal, because they say, especially with shelter dogs, it takes them about a month to get used to what exactly is going on in your home. If they're going from being maybe a stray, living outside, to going to inside dogs, that's gonna be a huge adjustment for them. If they're gonna try to be house trained, they're gonna have a lot of accidents, and we'll talk about that later. Number 2, expect damage. Unfortunately, with puppies, you need to expect damage. With Jesse, whenever we had him, we lived in an apartment. One of the first things that he damaged was a set of blinds that we had. We had a screen door, and there were these long set of vertical blinds. And what did he do as a puppy? He chewed the ends of them. Whenever we moved out, we had to pay for it. And it was fine. It was not a big deal. Whenever we moved into the home, he was not a small puppy. He ate the wall. He chewed up a cabinet. He chewed up a side of the molding on the side of the outside of the door. You know, dogs are going to damage things. Whenever we got Spencer even, he chewed up a side post of our bed. It's going to happen. Dogs are going to damage things. Things are things. These dogs will be your life, because your life is going to change. These dogs will be your life. Trust me, they're going to change your life. Number 3, expect accidents. They are going to pee and they are going to poop in your house if you are keeping them inside. It will happen. We lived in an apartment with Jesse, so we were going up and down. We were on the 3rd floor, so 3 flights of stairs, up and down, like 10 times a day. It was happening for him. So it was a lot. He peed all over that apartment. We had to clean the carpets, and it was crazy for a while until until his bladder was trained and everything was fine. So we got Spencer whenever we moved into this house, and he would have accidents, and we would clean, because we also had carpet over here. And what was interesting was he actually would go and pee under the Christmas tree every time. So he destroyed our Christmas tree skirt, which was great because it was $10. We threw it out and it was no big deal. So he was perfect. Then there was one time where Copper had several accidents, but one time that stuck out in particular was whenever I have this little fuzzy rug, and I thought it was the cutest thing ever, and it sits in front of my it's like a stand-up jewelry stand, and it closes, and so he was like looking for somewhere to poop, and I didn't know it, and he walked over there and he started to squat, and I was like, no, and he drops a turd on my rug, and I'm like, no, and he starts to walk, and he drops another turd and another turd and another turd all throughout the house. There are gonna be accidents. I had to clean my rug thoroughly. There are gonna be accidents. Their little bladders are trying to train to be able to hold it for hours and hours. Just like whenever you have a small child and you just have to go with it. My suggestion is if you have carpet, we got one of those Bissell, it's like a wet vac. You go to Lowe's and it's maybe $200 and you just wet vac it and it dries in a few hours and your carpet's just fine. But if you have hardwoods, you can just wipe it up and it'll be okay. Number 4, you need to expect lots of various costs. It's not going to be cheap. Just because you rescue a dog does not mean that it's going to be cheap. There are going to be different things that require costs whenever you rescue a dog. It is worth it. Trust me. I'm not saying that it's not worth it because my dogs have changed my life dramatically. You have shots and boosters. You have checkups. You have stool samples. If you rescue from a animal shelter, you want to make sure that there are no worms that pop up because we rescued from a shelter and then we went to the vet and Copper had worms. So we had to deworm him and then keep getting that checked up. So following that, you also have heartworm pills, which help protect from those worms to come back. Because if you have a dog that was a stray previously, it's not out of the ordinary for a dog to have worms or whatever. So to take those heartworm pills, it protects from dogs having, whether it's whipworms or whatever. So heartworm pills, and you have flea and tick drops, or if you have a pill like Bravecto, which is what we get our dogs. So all of those things are very helpful. Also, if you buy your dogs treats, those are expensive. Dog food is expensive depending on what you get. Whenever you get a dog, you're gonna wanna buy it toys. It needs a crate. Some dogs you're gonna wanna crate train, others you're not. Our dogs are crate trained because Spencer could probably just roam the house forever and not destroy a thing. Copper, no, he would destroy everything. Jesse, even right before he died, he would have destroyed our entire house. They would have destroyed everything. Spencer, no, but the other two, yes. It just depends on the dog. And with that, you have to expect with those costs that, you're going to have to take your dogs for yearly or even bi-yearly checkups. With Spencer, he has a lot of anxiety, so we pay for his Prozac every month. Yes, our dog is on Prozac. And we'll talk about with the next point, why exactly. Spencer, since an early age, has had a lot of anxiety. And not just because, oh, I'm a millennial, my dog has anxiety. No, Spencer cannot be around people without freaking out and shaking all over. The doctor recommended it. It's not me. It was the doctor recommended it. Because he could not sit in a car, he could not be around people, inanimate objects. He's always been nervous, and some dogs are like that. So some dogs require more costs than others. Like Jesse was a fairly cheap dog, and Copper is a fairly cheap dog, as of now. Spencer is not. We call him Expenser for a reason, but he is worth every penny, just like the other two. Number 5, you need to expect the unexpected. You have the good things, like if you hear your dogs are wandering through the house and then all of a sudden they're quiet, that's not a good thing. Because one time, Copper, we weren't watching what was going on, and he was in the kitchen. He had put his paws on the front counter, grabbed an entire chicken breast, swallowed it whole by the time we had gotten in there. Jesse had done the same thing, swallowed an entire stick of butter. That's the kind of good things that you do not expect because everything ended up to be okay. However, and this is where it goes to the more sad part of what I'm about to say, is with expecting the unexpected, unfortunately, most of the time we do outlive our dogs. With Jesse, he went from being completely healthy to passing away 24 hours later. It was completely unexpected. Something that neither one of us, my husband and I, never thought would happen. So this is one of the things that you never truly expect. And then with that, very soon afterwards, and not related, Spencer actually had a medical checkup, and he went from being completely healthy to going blind within a month. So we went from having two completely healthy dogs to having one pass away and another needing to have his eyes repaired. So you need to expect the unexpected, whether it's the good or the bad. Number 6 goes along with that. You need to expect that you are going to take care of them until one of you passes away. Either you or your pet. Whenever you purchase an animal, you need to have the expectation that that is going to be an animal that you take care of until one of you dies, because you are someone that they rely on. And that is not something that you should take lightly. And even, I know this sounds very, very extreme, probably to some, but you should have a plan put into place just in case you pass first. Number 7, and the last one, you need to expect for your life to change completely, because your life is going to change for the better. Honestly, I knew, like, we had always said we wanted to have a dog. We were like, we should get a big dog. I want a dog. It's going to be great. And I never really knew that I was going to change this much. I don't really know what I did before I had dogs. Like, what did I do with all this free time? Obviously, like, what did I do before I reached into my dog's mouth to pull out whatever they were chewing on? You will never be the same after you have a dog that you completely love with all your heart. If you get a dog and you're not already a dog person, you will be. And I feel like a lot of this is the same for a cat or any other animal, that you have to put 100% into caring for them, and they will give it back to you. And you just need to make sure that you are there for them and that you are giving them the best care possible. If you like dog videos, let me know. Leave me a comment down below and tell me, what kind of dogs do you have? Let me know. What do you think about my pups? If you say anything negative, I will block you immediately. See y'all next time.